Well, I'd like to show you an example of a real life that Jesus rescued, a life that today is making an eternal difference in our needy world. This kind of reality TV has been making my day for almost 3 decades. We've edited a portion of my interview with Keith Robinson.
You know, from the earliest time that I could remember, my life felt like it was destined for destruction. From the earliest time I could remember, I felt like I was living in a cold, cruel, and crowded world. And this sense of hopelessness began to come over me even when I was a child. One day I took a gun out from under my bed when I was 17 on house arrest, and I thought about just ending my life because I felt like there was nothing to live for anymore. A youth group at a church just down the road from my house had presented a prayer request for me, for my life. And one of the moms in that youth group heard that prayer request and said, "I know that young man. I'm going to go pay him a visit and bring him a Bible and pray for him." And she came into my bedroom, into my home that day, and she prayed for me. And when she laid her hands on my shoulder and prayed, that was the first time in my life that I knew that God was real, that He was more than a fairy tale figure wrapped up in the pages of some dusty book on mom and dad's shelf. 2 weeks later, I went to that woman's church, got on my knees at the end of that sermon, and I gave my life to Christ. And Jesus began to totally revolutionize every area of my life and set me on a path and a trajectory that would ultimately land me in front of thousands of students now, speaking, sharing my story all across the country and even internationally. And I am so thankful for a God who is relentless in His pursuit to find us, even when we're not looking for Him.
A leader is a dealer in hope, said Napoleon Bonaparte. I've never thought of Crossroads as a dealer, but hope is what God called us to lead with daily, almost 38 years ago. Real people, real lives, any and every kind of brokenness, emptiness, and despair, encountering Jesus Christ and finding love like they've never known and the purpose for which God created them. Now that is a great use of paid airtime. Life-changing hope and help made possible by you. Thank you for your faithful prayers and financial support. If you haven't yet made a decision to stand with us, we set apart these 2 weeks every spring to invite you to join our Crossroads family. We can't do what we do without you. Will you give this prayerful consideration and then call our pledge lines? Watch too, we promise more compelling stories of transformed lives.